It was our 8th anniversary. Benjamin and I were on our way to the grand ballroom. The entire mafia family waiting to celebrate us. The perfect couple. The untouchable king and his devoted queen. The car rolled smoothly through the estate gates. Silence stretching between us. Benjamin sat beside me, his hand resting on my thigh. A picture of control and dominance. Then, his phone lit up. A message. Then another. I glanced down. The screen flashed before he could tilt it away. Letitia, miss me, Cormio? Letitia, I can still feel you from last night. The way you fucked me against on your car seat. You always ruin me. My grip on my clutch tightened. The same car. Our car. Benjamin exhaled, slipping his phone back into his pocket like nothing happened. Like I hadn't seen it. Like he hadn't just spent last night fucking his mistress in the same place he now sat with his wife. I didn't react. I didn't look at him. I simply smiled. Because tonight wasn't just our anniversary. Tonight was the beginning of the end. Mrs. Willoughby, you are truly a vision. One of the guests gushed. Benjamin's arm tightened around my waist. His grip firm, possessive, controlling. She always is, he murmured. His voice deep, smooth, an unshaken ruler addressing his admirers. He leaned down, his lips grazing my temple, a display meant for the world to see. The crowd melted at the act, their admiration sickening. I smiled, my expression flawless. They don't know. They don't see, but I do. Earlier today, I found the truth. A sleek black gift box tucked away in Benjamin's private study. My hands had been steady as I lifted the lid, revealing a breathtaking set of ruby jewelry, earrings, a bracelet, and a necklace fit for a queen. A queen that wasn't me. Benjamin knew I hated rubies. Too loud, too bold, he had always said. Not suited for someone as refined as you, Nevaeh, but he had bought them, not for me, and the note hidden beneath confirmed it. For my one and only, Letitia, you own me, Cormio, Letitia Jones, his underboss's sister, his mistress. I had suspected for years. The late night meetings. The way his phone screen always dimmed when I walked into the room. The scent of a perfume I never wore lingering on his shirts. But this was proof. Undeniable. Nevaeh, Benjamin's deep voice pulled me back. His dark, unreadable eyes locked onto mine as he reached into his pocket, retrieving a velvet box. Happy anniversary, my love. Applause erupted around us. The world watched calmly. I opened the box. Inside lay an extravagant sapphire jewelry set. Earrings, a bracelet, and a necklace, dripping in deep blue stones shimmering under the light. Benjamin smirked. Exquisite, isn't it? The guests marveled at his grand gesture. I lifted my gaze to meet his. My smile didn't waver. It's beautiful, beautiful. But it wasn't for me. It was a leash, a collar meant to keep me silent. To them, Benjamin Willoughby was the perfect husband, the powerful and devoted Don who cherished his wife. But I knew better. The celebration continued. Benjamin played the part well, whispering sweet nothings, dancing with me under the chandelier, letting the world believe that I was the only woman he saw. But then she made her presence known. Letitia Jones standing at the edge of the ballroom, wrapped in a crimson silk dress, his color. Her gaze never left him. She lifted her champagne glass in a mock toast. A private, silent taunt meant just for me. Benjamin's fingers twitched on my waist. I need to speak with Enzo about some business, he murmured against my ear. Won't be long. I tilted my head up, letting my fingers trace along the sharp line of his jaw. Of course. His gaze flickered. Just for a second, then he left. Straight to her. I watched them. I didn't need to hear their conversation to know what it was about. The way she leaned into him, the way his hand found her lower back, the whispers, the secrets. Me phone buzzed a message. Letitia, the sapphires suit you, Nevaeh, but we both know who really owns him. Attached was a picture. Benjamin standing far too close to her, his hand trailing down her spine, mocking me. I let out a slow breath, my grip on the jewelry box tightening, but my expression never changed. When Benjamin returned, he was composed, unreadable as ever. The Jones needed some reassurance, he said smoothly. Nothing to concern yourself with. I met his gaze, my voice steady. I never concerned myself, Benjamin, because I was done being blind. I was done being the good wife. As the night came to an end, Benjamin walked me to our room, his hand resting against the small of my back. A perfect gentleman, a perfect liar. You made me proud tonight, Nevaeh, he murmured, brushing his fingers along my cheek. The family sees us as unbreakable. Unbreakable. I swallowed the bitter laugh that threatened to escape. He leaned in, pressing a slow kiss against my lips, as if sealing the illusion we had just performed for the world. Then he stepped back. I have something to handle, he said. I nodded. I didn't ask where he was going. I already knew. When he disappeared into the night, I walked to the vanity mirror. The sapphire jewelry still clung to my skin like a chain. I stared at myself, at the woman who had given 8 years to a man who had never truly been mine, and then I did something I hadn't done in years. I laughed. Not out of amusement, but because Benjamin Willoughby thought I was weak. He thought I would stay silent, that I would endure. But I was Nevaeh Romano, and I was about to remind the world exactly who the fuck I was. As I stood before the vanity, sapphire jewels glittering against my skin, my mind drifted back to the moment everything became crystal clear. It was 3 months ago, late at night. Benjamin had told me he was handling a shipment issue at the docks. but I had learned long ago that his alibis were crafted with precision, half-truths woven into a lie so seamless, even the devil would applaud. That night, I had been restless. Something gnawed at me, an instinct I could no longer ignore. So I did something I had never done before. I followed him. The penthouse suite at the Royale, one of the many properties under Willoughby ownership, exclusive, discreet. A place where men like Benjamin handled business without interference. Except it wasn't business he was handling. I had slipped past security with ease, taking the private elevator to the top floor. The door to the suite was ajar, the dim light spilling into the hallway. My heart pounded, my breath shallow. And then I heard them. Soft laughter, her laughter. "Benny, you're going to ruin me," Leticia purred. Her voice sultry, teasing. "You like being ruined." Cor mio. Benjamin's voice was lower, rougher, intimate in a way it never was with me. I had pressed against the wall, forcing myself to listen. "She's been getting suspicious," Leticia mused, her tone dripping with amusement. "Your little wife isn't as clueless as you think. Neve knows her place," Benjamin replied, his arrogance a knife to my chest. "She wouldn't dare challenge me." A rustle of sheets. A quiet moan. And what if she does?" A pause. "Then I'll remind her why she married me." Letitia's laugh was light, mocking. "You mean you'll give her some pretty little gift and fuck me harder?" Exactly. I had left before I could hear more. Before the bile rising in my throat could choke me. Before the rage burning in my chest could make me do something reckless. And tonight, as I stared at my reflection, that night replayed in my mind like a silent vow. I unclasped the sapphire necklace and placed it gently on the vanity. Benjamin thought I wouldn't dare challenge him, but he was wrong. The Willoughby estate was alight with opulence and power, a grand spectacle of wealth and dominance. The annual Mafia Gala was not just a celebration. It was a demonstration, a statement that the Willoughby family remained untouchable. For everyone else, tonight was a night of revelry. For me, it was yet another performance. I arrived draped in an elegant midnight blue gown, the sapphire jewelry set Benjamin gifted me glinting under the crystal chandeliers. A masterpiece of a wife standing beside the man the world feared. Yet my presence wasn't the one that demanded attention. Letitia Jones was already inside, adorned in a blood-red silk dress that left little to the imagination. She moved through the crowd like she belonged, smiling at men who whispered admiration and women who watched with veiled disdain. She was bold, brazen, a woman who knew her power. And worse, she knew mine had been stripped from me the moment Benjamin chose her. I felt his presence before I saw him. Benjamin's hand rested on my lower back, possessive yet distant. "Neve," he greeted, his voice smooth, unshaken. "You should have arrived with me." I turned, meeting his gaze. "You were busy." His lips quirked. "You're upset." I smiled, a blade sheathed in silk. "I have no reason to be." Benjamin chuckled, lifting my hand to press a kiss against my knuckles. To the outside world, it was a tender gesture. To me, it was nothing more than a polished act of control. "Then, allow me to make up for it." From his pocket, he retrieved another gift box. Another leash disguised as love. I opened it to reveal a sapphire-studded bracelet, designed to match the necklace and earrings. "You spoil me," I said evenly. "I take care of what's mine." Mine, he placed the bracelet on my wrist himself, his fingers brushing my skin as he clasped it shut. A perfect husband, a devoted Don. AFA Fade so well. Practiced it had fooled everyone. But not me, not her. Letitia approached with the confidence of a woman who had nothing to hide. A knowing smirk played on her lips as she ran her gaze over the extravagant jewelry I wore. "A sapphire set?" she mused, her tone dripping with false admiration. "Benjamin certainly knows how to keep you decorated." I held her gaze, my smile unwavering. "You wouldn't understand, Leticia. A wife's gifts are more than just pretty things. They are symbols." Her smirk didn't waver. Symbols of love or ownership. My nails dug into my palm, but I didn't flinch. Some of us wear our status proudly. Others borrow what doesn't belong to them. Benjamin shifted between us, offering a tight chuckle. "No need for claws tonight, ladies." Letitia's gaze flickered to him, and she placed a manicured hand on his arm, a touch far too familiar, far too intimate. "Oh, come now, Benjamin, you know I only tease." I lifted my glass. "And we all know you excel at playing with things that aren't yours." Her eyes darkened, and for the first time, her smile faltered victory. But a small, petty victory wasn't enough. I needed more. As the night dragged on, I played my role. I laughed when expected. I leaned into Benjamin's touch. I spoke with guests, maintaining the illusion that the Willoughby marriage was as strong as ever. But beneath the surface, a storm brewed. By the time I finally slipped away from the main event, I was suffocating. The halls were quieter, the music muffled. I took a steadying breath, my hands trembling at my sides. Anger and humiliation clashed inside me, a violent war that had no outlet. Until I heard the voices. Low, hushed but urgent. I followed the sound, stepping deeper into the shadows of the estate's west wing. "Everything is in place," a man's voice murmured. "Once the funds transfer, the shipment moves. No one will suspect a thing." A second voice, rough and clipped, responded. "And the girl? She has no idea who she really is." A pause. "Then, she's been kept in the dark her whole life. She thinks she belongs to him." The air turned frigid. I pressed myself against the wall, my pulse hammering against my ribs. The weight of their words settled like a stone in my gut. They weren't talking about Letitia. They weren't talking about Benjamin. They were talking about me. Me blood ran cold. For years I had believed my place was beside Benjamin Willoughby, that my role was carved into the foundation of the Willoughby Empire. But if I had been kept in the dark, then who the hell was I?